Hello, world. Warmest welcome to the 54th episode of World Humanitarian Drive's Inspiring Millions Show. This is the show where we celebrate brilliant minds from around the world who share with us their story, one story at a time. Ready to take a journey through self-development? Our special guest is Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah of Australia. Dr. Appadu is a chartered accountant, financial controller, MPhil, and PhD. We'll get to know his inspiring story in a short while. Thank you for joining us live or on replay. I'm Vivandrada O'Flynn, your host and Global Media Relations of World Humanitarian Drive. World Humanitarian Drive, also known as WHD, is an international NGO founded in Croydon, UK, by British Indian global peace activist, entrepreneur, writer, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed. The primary vision of WHD is to promote peace, education, and trade harmony initiatives globally among everyone across the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, or nationality, living as one family. WHD is striving for humanity. This Inspiring Millions Show is your show. As always, we encourage you to engage and interact with us. Please help us spread inspiration to the world by sharing this link. Put your questions that you would like to ask our guest, Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah. Greetings or comments that you have for us in the comments box. We would love to read them later on in the show. Wherever you are in the world, let us keep you company and brighten your day as we share peace, love, and goodwill. What a week it's turning out to be. We've made it through Friday. With all the chaos and confusion happening in the world right now, we'll do our best to lighten up your spirits and hopefully give you much needed inspiration. Today's guest to inspire the world is Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah, a chartered accountant, FCCA, CPA, MBA, MTAX, and PhD. He was employed as a financial controller for 35 years in Malaysia, New Zealand, and Australia, supervising the implementation value-added tax, VAT, GST, goods and services tax in these countries. After retirement at age 65, his passion for GST research culminated in the completion of MPhil at University of New South Wales, age 69, and PhD at RMIT University Australia in 2020 at age 73. And today he joins us to show us that age isn't a barrier to education and achieving your personal best. So let's all welcome Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah. Let's all welcome Dr. Appadu. Welcome.
Hello.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Yep.
So how are you, Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah?
I'm good. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Viva, for the introduction. Really appreciate that. And I know all the people all over the world, we are working at different times, different challenges, but we are going to have a very exciting 1 hour, so we will take back with a lot of excitement. I think the time will fly so quickly that you said, we should have more. Okay, so Sydney, I'm talking from Sydney. My name is Appadu Rao, and currently, it's about 12 o'clock here at night, but I put the clock to 10 o'clock so I won't feel sleepy. So it's raining here today. It's a nice cool weather, so it's good for me to do the presentation. Okay, so can I share the screens? Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, so it's past midnight in Australia, so we're on a late night show right now. So we're so ready to get inspired by you today. So before anything else, we would like to thank WHD Secretary of Malaysia, Professor Dato Dr. GP Doraisamy, for arranging this discussion.
Yeah, I like to thank him for that. Yeah, thank him as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So Dr. Appadu Rao has a very inspiring presentation for all of us. So are you ready, Dr. Appadu Rao?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
I have to share the screen, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, very good. Share the screen, share sound. Okay, so why is that showing that? Something is not right. Why? Yep.
Oh, there.
Okay, so now I can start.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get, I'm also, okay. Okay, are we all, is the setting okay? Can you
It's
see
good.
me?
Yes,
Good.
thank you, Dr. Appadu Rao.
Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just, right. Hello, all, welcome to my talk today. It's going to be an exciting one, and I'll keep you all awake. Don't worry about that. Okay, my name is Dr. Appadu Rao, and today I'm going to talk about my journey from a coconut plantation in Malaysia to a PhD in Australia. This is very important for a lot of people nowadays because most of the people, they come from the developing countries and they want to pursue in education, but they feel there are a lot of obstacles in their life. But I have been through that mill, and I want to share my experiences with you all so that one day you can also do a PhD later in your life. Now, I have this outline of the presentation. Basically, there are a lot of things there, but it's only three things to summarize this. I'm looking at one stage, my earlier years, coming from a coconut plantation, the difficulties I had, the hardships I had, and then I'm talking about my journeys to go to from Malaysia to UK, New Zealand, Australia. That's my life journey. And my dreams, I'm talking about my dreams too, because we all have dreams. So I'm going to talk about my dreams, which I've achieved so far, even though it is in retirement, but I have achieved my dream. So looking forward to from you all, you will be excited to hear from you what my dream was. Then I'm talking about something which is called about our debt to society, our moral or social debt to society. Most of us, what happens is that, we are so busy working, we have a family to feed, and we do a lot of things for family. And by the time you reach retirement, and after that you think, oh, that's the end. I can now retire, and you switch off your clock, and you don't mix much with people, and what is happening is that you have stopped learning. So that is something I'm going to talk about, aging population. And I'm going to talk about my map. Keep that word, my map. I'll tell you what is my map for success. Then I'm talking about, although we have to earn living for families and take care of children, education, and for ourselves, savings in the old age, we have something called social contribution to society. I will talk about a little bit more on that. Then I'll talk about some of the social projects we did in Australia, like the water project with the Aborigines. And I'll get back to some of the books I read to get my inspiration. Then I'll do the conclusion, and any questions you have, if you put in the chat box, I'm more than happy to answer the questions. So next we'll start on to my first profile, which I think Viva has given, already explained that to you. So I'm quite happy with that. The only point I have to say that I have to talk a little bit of research, what I'm doing now, which I did for my GST. This research is based on Malaysian GST compliance issue faced by small and medium-sized enterprises in meeting GST reporting obligations. Research include compliance issue faced by small and medium-sized businesses in Malaysia. There's a debate going on. Is GST the cause for price increases in Malaysia, and why GST has failed, and why it should be reintroduced after the COVID recovery? So that is my topic, which I did my PhD. I just want to talk about that briefly. Now, some of you will think, where did I come from? This is the coconut plantation I came from when I was young. So you can have a look at it. From young days, I used to work in the coconut plantation, and I used to do all that. I used to learn swimming in that water, and you can see, it's hard life. And when I was young, I used to do all this, because we were working in a plantation. My father was working as one of these gentlemen there, and I used to go and help my dad, exactly, in the water, going inside and collecting and carrying everything for my dad. So that was my youth, and that's why I learned how to swim as well. So there are a lot of things I've learned through this. A lot of hard work, sweat. There's no air conditioned office, and you can see it's a lot of hard work. And this is how they produce the coconut water, and you get in your supermarkets, and that's where my background is from. It's not easy. It's a lot of hard work, and you don't have to go to the gym to do exercise. All the exercise you get it here. So end of the day, you are so tired as a young boy, you just go and sleep. So this is where my problem was, because I couldn't concentrate on my studies, and I'll talk about that a bit later. Right. This is a life in the coconut plantation in Malaysia. Life was challenging from my age. I had no time to study. After school, looking after the cows, delivering milk, and to school, and helping parents in the school, in the coconut clan. Large family, did not have time to supervise all the children, but gave a lot of love. In the plantations, the estate, there's no lighting, no transport. We have to walk to school, hunger at school. I failed my exams twice when I was doing my O-levels. It's because I didn't have a credit in English, but I didn't give up. I said, no, I'll try again. I passed with grade 1. The hardship and the hard life and the hardship during the childhood inculcated a sense of discipline. I resolved to pursue to become a doctor. Got the opportunity to study as a doctor in India, but unable to pursue. I needed $100 per month, Malaysian ringgit, but my father's wages were only $70 per month. So I thought my dream is over. So I worked as a temporary teacher, hoping to become a teacher and an estate clerk. No real ambitions due to the confined environment, and no guidance or mentoring about future self-developments. I'd like to thank 2 gentlemen, Mr. Thomas, the estate clerk, Mr. Ramachandran, who mentored me to further studies. If you look at the picture, not on the top, at the bottom, that is the estate I used to work. And I like to talk about some family history, which, how we came into the estate. Now, I'm originally from Malaysia. In the 1800s onwards, the British Empire had expanded its control over almost all the pre-independence India and Southeast Asia. And due to Industrial Revolution, they had to make car tires and spices and cooking products. So Indian workers like my grandfather was recruited from India to work in the British Malaya, which is now called Malaysia, in the coconut and rubber plantations. So they were brought in about 1830s to Malaysia to work. They cleared the land for coconut and rubber plantation and built roads and railways and developed the rubber and coconut plantations in Malaysia. I'm very proud of the Indian contribution in Malaysia. Like my grandfather, my father was an indentured labor from Malaysia, from the coconut plantation. And the estate, as you can see on the truck, is Stockington Estate, Sabah Burnham. My primary education and secondary education was from government school, Sabah Burnham in Malaysia. So, I mean, if you look at the kiln, this is the kiln we used to work at night. And it's very hard labor. It's slave labor, basically. But nevertheless, it made me tough. Now, because the opportunities were not for higher education, I was actually employed as a field officer, Federal Land Development Authority in Bukit Jalil in Negeri Sembilan. After that, I was not happy because I had my O levels, or as you call SPM. I said, no, I am going to study again. So I studied night classes. At the same time, I got a new job as a customs officer in Johor Bahru. This was the eye-opener for me. I saw the opportunities for self-development. This is the first time I witnessed students returning from UK and Australia at the custom checkpoint. Then I looked at that and said, hey, these are all coming from overseas, and they've gone to overseas to study. Why don't I explore overseas rather than working as a customs officer? So I had the inspiration to go overseas, but to go overseas, I didn't have funding. So I applied to become a male nurse in UK in a mental subnormal hospital. Thus, I have built a bridge to go to UK, which will give me a university, which with the aim of getting a university education in UK. Opportunity came. I went to UK and I did male nursing. I saved money. Then I had an opportunity. I got articleship in a firm of chartered accountant through a pastor from the hospital. The article clerk, the pay was about £8, worked as a cook in the hospital kitchen and supported my education and qualified as a chartered accountant. I'm very proud to say I saved all the money from my work and supported myself. I didn't wait for a dollar from my parents to support my education, not because they can't afford to send me. So I must say, I think most of us think, okay, we have to wait for parents. Some of you may be listening here. We have to encourage our children to work and achieve their ambitions. You can help them a bit, but don't give them too much. Then you find that they won't be doing what you wanted. So after working about 10 years in UK, I returned to help my family members. And this is a very interesting job. I was employed as an accountant in the Reserve Bank of Malaysia in Malaysia, and also a financial controller for an international company. So what it's showing here, if there is a will, there is always a way, but you have to find the way. Now, you can look at my careers, I was a field officer and a customs officer. And sorry, the spelling mistake. It's a male nurse, not a male nurse, M-A-L-E, male nurse. And I was a cook in the hostel for 6 years while I was studying for my education. And then I finished my in the Derby Lansdale College, where I finished my accountancy. Then I did my chartered as well, which is the chartered accountancy in UK. So most of you think, oh, I want to become a doctor. I want to do this. You seem to set your mind only one career path. When you don't get the career path, you all give up. But you look at me. I was a field officer. Then I went to the next step as a customs officer. Then I went to the next step, male nurse. Then there's not enough money to study. Then I became a cook in a hostel. So you all have the ability. Most of the young people, if you're watching, don't give up hope. You have to keep working and you can achieve your ambition. Now, then I went to work in UK, New Zealand, and Australia. Now, what are the challenges working in these countries? Before that, I have to tell you why what inspired me to travel and seek employment in UK. After my A-levels, due to poverty in my family home, unable to go to university, did all these jobs. While working as customs officer, I triggered my interest to go overseas. After seeing students coming from the checkpoint at the customs, I went to Australia, sorry, UK. So that is what inspired me. And where did I enroll for my further studies? I want to do accounting and finance. I could not afford the university fee, so I enrolled as a male nurse. And in 3 years, saved money. Still, the funds are not enough, so I worked as a clerk, later qualified as chartered accountant. So next, after working in Malaysia, in the Reserve Bank of Malaysia, I was still not happy again because it is a 9-to-5 job. You get not motivated, and I want to use my energies, my intelligence to better myself, So then I left, joined as a private in a financial control in private sector. And that gave me a next opportunity for me to work in New Zealand. So that company sent me to New Zealand. Then from New Zealand, I came to Australia. And this is where I am now, settled in Australia. So what are the challenges working in overseas countries like UK, New Zealand, Australia? Number one, you must have, you will have languages issue coming from Asian countries. You must have eye contact. You have to speak your mind. You have to be honest. And you have to be brave. You cannot be shy, because I was very shy in school those days. I used to sit behind the class because I didn't have the confidence, whereas the others were in front. But we all can develop, it's all within us, If you try, it will happen. But don't, in Malaysia, they say, jangan jadi kata di bawah tempurung. Don't become a frog under the shell. Throw the shell and come out of, come out and face the world. And this is what it taught me in UK, New Zealand, and Australia. The other thing, communication skills, These are very essential in overseas countries. That's what I noticed, You can be a good doctor, you can be a good accountant, but if you don't have communication skills, you won't succeed here. So you have to learn communication skills, verbal and written. Of course, there'll be cultural differences, the work practices, For example, in Malaysia, sometimes you call people, they don't reply, they don't send emails in punctuality. But here, you have to reply the calls, you have to reply the emails, you have to be punctual. You cannot say, no, traffic jam and this and that, raining, no. You have to leave early your place and be there on punctual. No matter how you feel, you have to get up and dress up and show up and never give excuses. So you see, now it's 12 o'clock. Because I've been trained like that, I'm like in the morning, I feel so fresh. I can sit and talk for another hour without any problems. It was a tough journey, but I grabbed whatever opportunities that came along to move forward. You only live once. Thus, make the best opportunities available. Don't think about next life, the karma, the Indians say, God has destined my life. Everything is in your hands. The brain is there, your computer is there. You just work on it, things will happen. So after retirement, while I was working, I continued studying after coming to Australia. I did my MBA at Western Sydney University. This is while working as a full-time accountant. Okay, so it is possible. A lot of people say, no, I'm working, I can't study, I can't concentrate. All these are excuses. You tell your mind, the mind will work according to what you want. If you say mind you're lazy, the mind will be lazy. So get out of that and say, okay, I'm going to do this. So I graduated MBA Western Sydney while I'm working in Sydney. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Okay. Do not lose hope. When the sun goes down, the stars will come up. So always be optimistic, always be positive, always think that you can do it. Don't wait what others will say. Oh, I have this weakness, I can't do that. Don't put all the negatives in you. When you have negatives in you, the mind also will work negative. Now, one of the important things you have to understand, all of you one day will become old or aged. You can't help it. That's part of life. Now, based on my father's time, before generations, a lot of people, they normally live about 60, 65. And so they retire about 55, for example, in Malaysia, 55, they retire. And they spend the time in the house, grandchildren, and they feel they have become an expired person in the family. In other words, they don't have friends, they don't have anything, no social contact. And some of them keep beards and they, I cannot do anything more. And they sort of put themselves down all the time. Okay, so this is important for most of you, because as soon as you come to 60, 65, you'll retire, because most of the companies, they keep you until 60, that's fine. But you have an opportunity to break the cycle. Okay, how do you break the cycle? You have another 20 years to live. Some of them coming to 85, even the Prime Minister of Malaysia is 95. So this is the big question you all have to ask. What I am going to do for the next 20 years after my retirement? Are you going to sit in the house and say, okay, this is the end of my life, I'm going to die? So mentally, physically, you deteriorate. Because you deteriorate, you will have sickness, you will be unhappy, you have depression, all these diseases will come to you because they're all waiting to catch on you. So you have to push all of them away and say, no, I've got another 20 years. I'm going to live very effective lives, productive life. And the only way you can do that, which I'm going to show you next, is, you see, you look at the aging population in Malaysia, estimated 3.5 million, 7% of the population will be above 65 to 80. They stop learning, miss social interaction with friends, with grown-up, since children grown up, become lonely, which lead to illness, lot of headaches. They carry tablets, they have all sort of diseases. So this is what will happen from 65 to 80. So are you ready to take that, or you want to take a different challenge? Now, I'll tell you how to overcome that. Big challenges to keep your mind and body healthy. Mentally, physically, you will be going downhill since you feel like a shopping item, you have reached your expiry date. So you need to innovate. Innovate means you have to do something different, to be active. Now, the only way you can do that is you do contribution to the society, because you have taken care of your family, they're retired, the children are grown up. Don't sit in the house. Think about something you do, contribution to society, because you have what you call a social debt to society. I will come to what social debt is next. See, our bodies reward us with a rush of dopamine whenever we complete a different task. They found that when you reach in the 60s, 70s, your math skill peak, you understand people's emotions better, you perform best in analyzing given conflict. They found that vocabulary peaks in your late 60s and 70s. Now, as adults, as you're retired, you can get back to mentoring children, teaching, charity work, publish research articles. Now, one of the studies they found out is that if feeling connected is the key to happiness. You have to get connected to people. Studies have shown dopamine is often referred as the feel-good neurotransmitter. When you're in love, you get that. You're all excited, happy. So what happens when you get connected with people around rather than staying at home? You get dopamine, which is you get a good feeling in you. Older adults who aren't getting enough of important chemicals in this brain run the risk of developing emotional health conditions such as chronic stress and depression. So if you do things which I just mentioned, mentoring, teaching, charity work, or go to a university, do a course, which will overcome these problems. Now, earlier I said, what is moral and social debt to society? Okay, God is, if you say God is there, God has given you a right hand, has given a left hand. I think there's the reason why you gave right hand. The right hand simply means we have received material, non-material help and assistance from parents, teachers, lecturers, and kind people around. So you only have taken, but have you given? You have to give back to society. The same material goods, the non-material help and assistance to the students, parents, and unprivileged society. Because when you die, you're not going to take anything. You come with nothing, you die with nothing. So, but what you can do is you can give something to back to society. Most of you think, oh, I graduated, I'm a doctor, I studied everything, so I know everything, and oh, I worked very hard, my parents supported me. That it comes to the right hand. But do you realize that to become a doctor, there are a lot of teachers who helped you. A lot of parents have put a lot of money for you. So what are you going to give in return? So I think this is something you have to think when you get old. Don't think about just, oh, I'm going to die tomorrow, but give something to society before you die. At least when on the deathbed, you think, oh my God, I've done this. You die with a smile. Don't go with the frustration. I should have done it. I should have done it. No, you do it now. Now, this is a theory I've been, I studied in my MBA, but later I realized it makes a lot of sense. It is not a very difficult theory to understand, Maslow hierarchy needs simply said that we all have physiological needs, air, water, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. Then you go to the next level, safety needs. You want employment, resources, property, cars. Then you go to love and belonging. When you have that, you want love and belonging. You want esteem, self-respect, status, and all that. But one of the levels you all don't reach is self-actualization. That means the desire to become the most that one can be. In other words, you have to decide to know what you want to be, what you can do. See, you're not doing for your children, you're not doing for society. You want to do, you want to leave it as a mark in your society. Something you want to do yourself, So a lot of things, if you look in inventions, the electricity you have, all that is invented by people who worked on that, I think it's Thomas Edison, if I remember, but he worked hours on that, so now you're all enjoying it. So if you want to do something, you see where you belong. Do you belong at the physiological needs, safety or love, belong, esteem? But you have to reach to this level. Then only you'll be a happy person, according to Maslow hierarchy needs. Other theories, I call this my map. So you all can have a map. Can you remember my map? M. We already saw Maslow hierarchy needs. Now we are looking at law of attraction. Some of the books I read, there's something in life which we think when you're falling in love, you get attracted. Not necessary. By employing the law of attraction principles such as gratitude, positive thoughts, and focusing on our dreams rather than defeats and other negative emotions, you more likely to work harder towards accomplish the goals. This has been proven. That's the law of attraction because the nature gives you the incentive, the motivation to do what you want. But you have to believe in law of attraction. This has been proven. Studies on the most optimistic people suggest that optimistic experience greater happiness, more success, and more likely to be healthier. Okay, so this is one thing you have to remember. So MAP is attraction. So you have to remember attraction, not love attraction. This is attraction towards doing good for the society. Gratitude, positive thoughts, focusing on your dreams. If you do all that, that's called law of attraction. Then the other one is Murphy law, you have to remember. Remember Murphy, MAP, Murphy law? A rule that states if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. In other words, anything can go wrong, will go wrong. So in other words, you can plan everything, but it will go wrong. Be ready for it. Don't think, oh, this has happened to me. My life is gone. I cannot do anything. No, you should not feel that way. This will happen. That's life. So why fear to take challenges? So don't fear. I made a mistake there. Don't fear to take up challenges. If something goes wrong, never mind it goes wrong, but you tried. That's the important message. If you didn't try, it's no point because Murphy law says something will still go wrong. When you go out on the road, a car will knock you. That doesn't mean you don't want to drive. there will be accidents. So your mind has to be positive about that. So this should not stop you from trying and learning from mistake. So don't think I made a mistake before, I'm not going to do it again. No, you learn from the mistakes. So next, there's something called Pareto principle, Pareto principle analysis premised on the idea that 80% of the project's benefit can be achieved by 20% of the work. Conversely, 80% of the problems can be traced to 20% of the causes. What it's simply saying that when you look at your life problems, 100 problems you have, you can trace them only the 20% which makes the difference, not the 180 of them, So Pareto analysis is a powerful quality and decision-making tool. When you want people to help you out of 100 people, only 20 people will help you. So don't say, oh, people are not helping me. Only 20 people will help. So if you go anywhere, you see 10, there'll be only 2 who will help you. Not everybody will help you. So don't go out and say, oh, these people didn't help me, these people, no. That is life. You cannot change it. So if you remember my map, these are the life theories you can take in your life. And by working on this, you'll be positive. How to give back to the community? Find a purpose. Start small and start today. Create a ripple effect. Find out what you can you share some time or money with people? Do that if you can. Embrace your life as a resource. You don't have to be a hero, but you can do the acts of a hero. Now, we look at my life journey, I did my MBA University. Now look at the customs department. I was working there once. You saw my picture as a customs officer, checking the car booths in Johor Bahru in the town. But today I've gone to give presentations on GST to the customs senior officers. You see the difference, So, and this is how you have to make yourself, it's all in your mind. If you think big, you can become big. If you think small, you'll become small. Now, look at the bottom picture. I did my master's in taxation in New South Wales University Australia. You can see my daughter is sitting beside me. She graduated at the same time as I got my master's in taxation. So what difference between her and me? She's young, but I'm old, but I can still do it. So you have to take challenges in your life. Don't give up these opportunities. These are examples I want to show you. Now, academic achievement after retirement. So I got all that. GST compliance issue. I've submitted journals to New Zealand Tax Journal, given presentation Custom Business University in Malaya, and published a book on GST. So next, I think I'm working another book. Now, as I was doing all this, taking care of the family with my wife, a dedicated woman who has done a lot for my success. Her name is Kasturibai, and I've got 2 children. And they have, they also have, show you that, yeah. They have also both graduated, one as a teacher, a human resource manager. And I have 2 grandchildren. So they're happily married. So my opportunity coming to Australia has helped them for further their education. So I've done well. I don't have any complaints. But at the same time, I have done all this in Malaysia, in Australia. This is the social contribution. I'm not just talking about it, but I have done in action. While I'm working, taking care of children, studying for the exams. So this is what I've done. And there's still time. So this, when I was working in Malaysia as Rotary member, social service in Australia, Aboriginal service to provide water supply to the remote Aborigines, voluntary accountant to Satya Sai School in Queensland, feeding the homeless in Whitechapel Church in Sydney. Some of you may think in Sydney, how do you have people homeless? There are people homeless. You know, if you come to Sydney, I will take you all one day where the homeless people are. So we provide food for them. So these are all little things, but it makes a difference for them. Okay. Oh, sorry. Right. So I finished all my studies. I finished my degree, my PhD. Oh, I should be relaxing, isn't it? No, you don't relax. You go back to society. So I'm a member of business groups in Malaysia. I do all on Zoom presentations around this time sometimes. So to help business issues for small businesses, I'm a member of the WeMeet business groups on small business groups, member of the ProSite. We provide training to raise funds for the poor in the Klang Valley. Future projects. Provide motivation, employment advice to students and doctors to work in Australia. Now, my greatest challenge I have now, about 10,000 students are dropouts from schools in Malaysia after Form 5 FCM. You know? My objective is find ways to train them to get vocational and trade skills to be gainfully employed. It's a big ask, but I'm going to work on that. I'm quite sure. Anybody interested, you know, I give my phone number and my email address. You can get in touch with me. This is my last project. I want to make it tangible, something which will make a difference for that 10,000 students. Out of the 10,000 students, if I can make 1,000 students, you know, to get gainfully in vocational trade schools, I'm happy. So because currently there's no direction for most of the students. Right, this is the water project we did in Australia, Gundawindi, you know, that place you see somewhere there. I am in New South Wales. It's about 10 hours drive to Gundawindi, and the Aboriginal people there is drinking. We set up water tanks and filtrations and all that, you know, which took some pictures. I had a lot of pictures. I don't know where I left them. You know? Now, these are the three books, you know, Deepak Chopra, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, Code of the Extraordinary Mind. And if you have a chance, read The Secret. This is the law of attraction. You know, you can read. And Retirement Made Simple, books for motivation. Conclusion. I changed direction not to waste my retirement time, went back to university so I could light other candles. I think J.F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. Sorry. A law of attraction is true. Universe will reward you, give you a positive mental attitude. I've been through many setbacks and challenges. Even on the days I want to give up, I took steps to move forward. The universe has rewarded me with mental clarity, inner peace, positive energy to achieve my goals. Do not ever give up your dreams and never leave them behind. Find them and make them yours to cherish them. Life is about a journey, not a destination. If there's a will, there's a way. You are the ones who make the best of it. Now, looking at myself today, I'm happy I've achieved more than I wanted. If my actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, then that is success to me. If my actions, okay. So that's a conclusion. There are some questions which they asked me, so I'm going to talk. I didn't have time to cover that. There are two questions here. Please share your practice of time management and finance with your family, with your children. So basically they're asking, with all this, how do I spend time with the family? But you'll be surprised. I made it a point to spend a lot of time with my children from their young days. Weekends are filled with Indian Bharatanatyam dances, Indian dances, Sangeetam, and also move with the Satyasai organization to do voluntary work. And also they both can swim, cycle, they play volleyball. How successful are your children in your studies and career? Next, I have two daughters. They've done well and graduated. They're married, well said. One is a teacher, another human resource manager. I've highlighted all the services I've done. Okay, this is another question I was given to you. We admire your tenacity and perseverance to further your studies up to doctorate levels. What motivation factors encourage you to enroll and complete your master's philosophy after your retirement? Most of the people, when they go for higher education, it's either the families tell them, the friends tell them, the teachers for them. For me, nobody told them anything about higher education. It's my retirement. I want to use my time usefully because it gave me mental and physical advantages to memory and health. Then I want to make a contribution to Malaysia because there is no tax impact statement that was done when the GST was introduced. So nobody knew the issues, the compliance was. So I thought I can fill that gap. I've written one book and published articles in GST for personal satisfaction. Okay, so I finished the 6 questions which they posed to me. After that, I'll ask Viva to ask the other questions, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 more questions, I like to thank Professor Dorsami because I think he organized this talk. I'm so pleased I can share this with all of you, and also Viva to host this function. If you have any questions, now I leave Viva to take over the sharing. Thank you. Any questions you all have, but Viva will ask you. Spot on 1 o'clock, correct?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Appadu Rao. Thank you for sharing your presentation about your inspiring journey from Malaysia to Australia. So you've given us a lot of things to think about, such as going after our dreams, getting old, and more. And you've also given us a crash course about life. So I'm just going to read through the comments of our virtual audience. We're going to say to our hi to our virtual audience, Professor Data Dr. GP Doraisamy, Tongi Gra, Happy Andrada, Tox Hernandez, Rantana Raman, who's watching from Malaysia, Jaya Raman Manusai is watching from Malaysia as well, Vijayan, Sinasami, and then Win Wonderful, Marlene Hechanova, Asogan Perumal is saying, great doctor. Jaya Raman Manusami is saying, yes, you did great contribution to B40 category families in Klang Valley, Malaysia via ProSite Solutions. And then so Jaya Raman Manusami has a question for you, Dr. Appadu. Jaya Raman would like to ask how Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory was challenged by COVID-19 pandemic.
Okay. Maslow hierarchy of needs. Okay. When I read that and understood Maslow hierarchy of needs, I was basically looking at the basic, the theories behind it, But because if you look at Maslow hierarchy and needs, the basic thing is basic needs, So what happened, so far we all had the basic needs, and we went to the next stage and next stage and next stage. But now we have gone back one step back again. We have dropped in the same hole again. We all, because a lot of people lost jobs, lost opportunities, so they will have problems. And this is where we all can come in, those who are better off, to give them a helping hand, to lift them up, So the theory is still good, but only thing, it cannot be applied in a COVID situation because a lot of people lost jobs, opportunities and all that. They'll be unemployed, okay? But for them to take them to the next level, they need the support from others to top them up, In other words, you're hurt, you're going on a journey, the others have to pillar them, That's how I think a Maslow hierarchy of needs will apply in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have another question from Wonderful. She'd like to ask, so you're living in Australia now. She'd like to know, what is the current situation in Australia? I guess this is with regards to COVID situation.
COVID situation in Australia. I think we have been through the worst part. Now I think they're opening up the borders. So I wouldn't say COVID is completely eliminated. We still have to wear masks when you go to shops, and we have to have the we had the 2 injections, and we had the booster as well. Okay, so although we are optimistic things will change for the better, we are very cautious, But the good thing in Australia is that the system is well governed, well administered. If there is a problem, straight away they take action. So because of that, they're very confident that all the borders will be opened up very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. And there was also the freedom truckers, and then also a lot of things going on in there as well.
Yep.
Professor Dr. G.P. Doraisamy has a question for you. Dr. Appadu Rao, your life journey is very challenging, overcame so many obstacles and hindrances since the early days at Malaysia. So they say that baby boomers of the colonial era come from very poor families and had achieved many successes through hard work, perseverance, self-motivation, and never ever give up. So his question is, could you kindly enlighten us more on self-motivation? How do you overcome failures, and how do you cope up with new environments and technological transformations?
Yep. Okay. I always take the view people will react in different ways in the different circumstances. I take my own example. Because I came from poverty, there was a need for me to better myself. That may not apply to my grandchildren in Australia. They are coming in a comfortable life and all that. They may not have the same motivation. So we can't compare to them. But there are people in Malaysia, for example, they have not even passed the first barrier of life. In other words, they don't even have basic education to get a job for a start. That is the worrying one. So either the government should help more, people like us, charities should train them more, technical colleges, can play a bigger role. I think this is where we have to help those people to get to the first level, to put them on the platform where they'll be employable. And currently that's not so in Malaysia. So I think we need a lot of groups to train these people. Training is lacking, that's my view. So after that, you cannot get motivated just by yourself. You have to have the environment to get that. For example, I'll give you a good example. If you take a plant and put in the house and you put water every day, it will die very soon. But you put the same plant outside the house, so because of the nature and the winds and the sun, it tries to adapt. So I think you have to look at the people themselves, who the groups are affected, and take corrective actions. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another question from Jayaraman Manusami. He'd like to ask you, well, he's saying happiness is an internal factor. So as a senior citizen, how do you achieve this?
Okay. Now, as I said before, a lot of our people, I mean, when you're younger days, when you finish your university, and you become a lecturer or something, and you have job satisfaction. You get job satisfaction, and you also have the networking with your colleagues and all that. The only problem when you retire, you don't have that opportunity, because I may be a professor in the university, but when I retire, nobody recognizes you as a professor anymore. It's a new paradigm shift you'll be facing. So you have to build up a relationship with others, so that they recognize your talent, they recognize all the good in you. And that's how I said earlier in my talk that you must have people's connection, to get happiness. If you cut out people's connection, it's something like your human body. There's no blood. You may have a body. It can be pretty like Viva and Friend, but no blood. Okay. So what you need is interaction with people. The more interaction with people, then at the same time you're doing some contribution, that gives you the chemical, which will help you to make happiness. There's no other way, that is the only way. That's why I've come back after I've retired, and I'm very happy. Don't you see I am very happy or not? So you can feel it, so that's what I'm saying. You have to go honestly, help each other, and look at the issues, and where you can help, you do that. You don't think, oh, what other people will say, what these people will say. You can't live in a straitjacket. It's something like a bee. To give an example, a bee, it goes every morning, it goes to all the flowers, and it picks up the honey. At the same time, it pollinates the flower. You see, it doesn't make a distinction. Oh, this flower I don't like, this flower I like. You see, it just doesn't make the difference. It just goes and does its job. So you do your job, you will get your happiness. Thank you.
Thank you. So human connection is very important. And then so Sandra Govindsamy would like to say, remarkable achievements, Dr. Appadu, truly exemplary. For those of us still struggling to self-motivate and find some meaningful things to do in life, enjoyed your highly inspiring talk. Thank you very much. And then Professor Dr. GP Doraisamy would like to say it would be good to share your knowledge and experiences with regards to life in Australia as compared to Malaysia or other developing countries. So his question is, would you encourage our youngsters and middle-aged group to travel to Australia and seek employment and or residency in Australia?
Yeah. Very good question, very good question. Currently, all over the world, there is some uncertainties, politically, socially, religiously. There are a lot of issues coming up all the countries, and people are looking for opportunities to move to a safer country, in their mind, turbulence is causing all that, Now, as far as Australia is concerned, the doors are still open for migration, open for migration. And there are three categories of people who are needed in this country, mostly health workers, doctors, nurses, and IT and security people. And also we have other people who are very specialized where the companies recruit them. So the only problem here is that because you're coming from a country like Malaysia, for example, I take example as a doctor, as I was talking the other day, we are talking, giving a presentation to doctors. All the qualifications, Malaysian doctors are recognized in Australia as a preliminary recognition. It's not a full recognition, but they have to sit for English language exams. They have to pass multiple choice questions and clinical exam. Now, this is a challenge, because the standards here are much different from the others. So each country has their own standards. We cannot run away from that. For example, if you study in Malaysia in the Monash University, the Australian university, you can just walk in, become a doctor here. So because the syllabus is different, the passing rates are different, so there's no problem. So what I can suggest to Dr. Doraisamy, Professor Doraisamy is send your children to Australia for education. Why? Number one, they will get the local education in Australia, and their qualification will be recognized in Australia, and they will learn the culture here and the practices here, and they will learn communication skills here, and that will give them a primary advantage, to get a job here. Okay, because of the COVID in affected Australia, we also in Australia they've lost a lot of jobs here. Companies, but it's building up quickly, it's picking up. So important in this country is it's not the qualifications you have, it's your communication skills, verbal and written skills. So some of them lack when they come to countries like Australia because they're trained in Malaysia. The language skills, for example, the English skills are poor. So when they come here, they will have problems, language skills. So if you want to avoid all that, send your children to Australia. I know you have to pay for the education, but it's a clear path after that, because this qualification recognized in New Zealand and also in UK, so you won't have any problems. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm just going to read more comments from Jaya Raman Manusai. And his comment is, I agree with you that social connection is important. Secondly, continuous learning is important. And thirdly, physical exercise is important for maintaining happiness because according to him, he said, when we exercise, endorphins are released from our body that makes us happy as well. So we have a question from Tongi Gra, and he's saying, very inspiring, especially your willingness to learn more and more. So he'd like to ask you, do you have any new plans of studies for the future? Anything else you'd like to study?
Yeah. Okay. Learning is a lifelong experience, I mean, when I did this, I'm talking about my research. Because I went to the university and did my master's in tax, now I know how to do research, So we are looking at a problem in Malaysia about this 10,000 students are dropping off. So I'm going to apply my research skills there, to find a solution how we can solve that. So now I'm not to say not learning, I'll be learning in the process, but I've got the, what you call the basic skills to do things, So it's still I'm learning. I must say I'm learning. It's not go for another qualifications, I've reached what I want, but what I'll be doing, I'm applying my learning skills, in the real time situation. Like for example, the students who are failing, not continue the education.
Thank you, Dr. Appadu Rao. So this is a question that we want to ask you because you're a qualified chartered accountant and financial controller. So could you kindly share your experiences on how to spend, save, invest, and balance time with limited resources of funds?
Good question. Very good question. We all struggle with this sometimes, but based on my experience in doing the accounts for people, companies, business people and all that, one of the things if you want to overcome, how to manage your budget is very simple. First of all, nowadays you have bank statements, I don't know how many of you look at the bank statement end of the month. So you have to look at your bank statements, how you're spending the money, how your cash flow is. And also you should put aside about 10% or 20% of your earnings in another separate account as a saving. Then I'm talking about limit on the use of credit cards, because it's, you think, credit cards, you're having a credit card, you think you can spend the money, and that is the big problem in Malaysia now. Credit card debt is increasing. So always find out, do you need the item? Is it a need or a want? Do you want that item or you need the item? If you decide that, then you don't have to spend the money on the credit cards. Now, apart from all this, one of the things you want to, balance your budget, you have to be investing, because investing is important. Whether you invest in land, property, shares, because based on the studies, all the prices will go up due to inflation over a matter of time, So the current prices increase in Malaysia is not because current prices in Malaysia increases is not because a lot of reasons people give. It's because we are not producing enough and more people are consuming. That's why it's causing inflation in Malaysia. Now, the other secret I want to share with you, use the bank's money and make more money. Most of the times, if you think borrowing the money from the bank to invest in property or business, you think, okay, I want to be debt free. No, because if you use the bank's money, you're paying interest, so you can use the money to buy properties and all that. So you can use it because the property prices are going to go up. After a couple of years, you find what you bought for about 300,000 will double to 500,000, but you're not using your money. It's the bank's money. So because of inflation nowadays, you find that prices will go up, whether you like it or not. So use the bank's money. A lot of people think debt is bad. Debt is good provided you put in good investment, not speculative business. And also don't forget, take an insurance policy for your family and life. Most of, I don't know, in Malaysia, I know a lot of people don't take a life insurance policy. And if something happens to the family, they have a lot of problems financially to support the children's education and work. And the other thing in life I found, don't compare your life standards with your neighbors. Or you don't look at that, say, hey, that neighbor got a better television. I want to have, he got a better car. No, you work on your own requirements, what your needs are, not what the neighbor wants. Okay. I applied these throughout my life. I'm not very rich, but I'm comfortable. Okay. Yep. Any other question?
Yes, those are valuable lessons as well. So the world is also moving towards a digital economy right now. So is it advisable to also invest in Bitcoin as well?
Yeah, good question. If you ask me my personal thing, I don't want to pass a judgment because I've studied Bitcoins, but because I'm from an accounting background, I always like to see any asset should have three fundamental things, fundamental. It should be in existence, It can be valued. It is tangible. You can feel it, because if I don't see that, I don't invest in Bitcoins, because somewhere I feel the existence, the valuation, it's all, I can't put my finger, you know what I mean? So maybe I passed the stage, all the younger people are willing to take the risk. Good luck on them if they make the money, but I won't do it because I've got some savings I don't want to put there and I don't want to lose it at this stage, but if I get a property, I may buy. You know what I mean? I can put the money on property because it's better to have a tangible thing. And the other problem currently is happening in Malaysia is about 10, 15 years back, we used the word investment. You're going to invest. And when invest in a company, you look at the assets of the company, or you look at the profitability of the company. You look at the balance sheet, But nowadays, nobody looks at that, Now it's all speculation. You have to know the difference between investment and speculation. Speculation means, suppose I go and invest in one place, Viva looked at me and say, hey, Appadu has gone and invested that, So I also follow, You know what I mean? Because nowadays, the money in the market is governed by pension funds, big pension funds, They move, big giants, They buy the shares here, next day they move there, next day they move there, because they have to show returns to the fund, pension funds, you have funds there, superannuation funds. So they're just tracking, where they can put. If you follow that, you cannot keep up, Those days are gone. Those days they look at the balance sheet of the company. They look at the assets. What assets they have? They have land, they have factory, and they look at the profit they're making, And they look at the balance sheets, and they look at the plans, the strategic plans of the company. But nowadays, you're just following a blind people, So I said, Viva, you just follow me, you invest here, So you think, oh, Mr. Appadu is a chartered accountant, he's telling me to invest, I go and invest, So there's a lot happening like that nowadays, very sad. So you have to be very careful nowadays, So it is moved from investing to speculation. That's what we don't want, And if you have a lot of money, you want to speculate, fine. You have a lot of money in the bank sitting, you want to, you want to take risk, very high risk. You go and invest, wherever you want. You may gain, you may lose. You know what I mean? It's like gambling, speculating is like gambling, So, uh, so I suggest people who want to invest nowadays, uh, speak to the consultant and study, and get as much information, because nowadays a lot of information is not provided. Everything coming through WhatsApp, and digital way. It's not a good way. You have to really go and see whether the company is sitting in the address, the physical address. There are a lot of things happening like that. You have to be very careful because of the digital economy. Thank you. Any other question?
Thank you. Professor Dato Dr. GP Doraisamy has a message for you. He's saying, wonderful presentation by Dr. Appadu Rao. So much to learn from you, doctor. You were sincere, humble, and straightforward with your replies and answers. So we are truly lucky and indebted to all your kindness and simplicity. And he is hoping to visit you soon in Australia when the borders are open for free movement of international travelers. So thank you for sharing. So, Doctor,
thank you very much. We're looking forward to see you here, sir.
Thank you. Here's a question that we always ask our guests. So for our final question, we would like to know, what is your inspiring message to the world?
Okay. Okay. You asked me a big question now, inspiring, Okay. I go back to my presentation, which I said, what happened with the digital world, we have become, we're supposed to become closer, but we are getting more far apart, because there's no trust between human beings now, because everything WhatsApp, we are learning everything WhatsApp. We are not getting that connection which used to have, So if you ask me what should we do to inspire all the others, is very simple. There are a lot of people who need help, and you go and lift them, in either, education wise or charity wise, and they will be examples for the next generation. If you take my example, for example, there were two people when I was in the plantation, when I finished my studies, and I failed my first time my O-levels exam, not because I didn't do well. I failed one subject, English, and they came and helped me, in terms of giving tuition or something. You said, okay, you work on this subject. So the second time I got a credit. So when I got a credit, I got the qualification to go higher education. You know what I mean? There are simple things we can do like that. So if we can do that with our neighbors, for example, in Malaysia, we have a lot of people in the poor categories. Just go and find out what they need, and be a companion to them, friends, For example, if you take me, what I did, I had 3 families, after the COVID. These children are studying, but they don't have computers, they don't have computers, and they're studying by phones, So I bought computers for them. You know what I mean? Simple things we can do. I don't want to give all the glossy things, what we should do. Just look at your neighbors, your networking neighbors, who are poor, who need encouragement, who need a helping hand. If we can do that, will inspire the others, based on my own experience in my life. I don't have to write books how I'm going to help. Do it, Action. We need action from people, So that's what I've joined, I said, no, I'm going to talk with you all today, I want to share my experiences, because there are a lot of people like us who can do a little bit, a little bit. That's all we need. I don't want to be a hero, but I just want to do a little bit, Action, that's the word.
We need more action. So thank you so much, Dr. Appadu Rao. We have a comment from Jayaraman Manu Sami. He's saying he's happy to join this presentation as your friend, as you took the stage today, and thank you and best wishes to you. So thank you, Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence, sharing your words of wisdom, and inspiring the world with your story. So in honor of international recognition for your virtue and persistently serving and inspiring humanity with your noble deeds, World Humanitarian Drive would like to award you with this. Could you see it? Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations on your Inspiring Humanitarian Award.
Yep, thank you. So I think just one line I want to say, thank you very much for this certificate. As you said, like your founder, Dr. Abdul Bhai said, true happiness comes from giving, not taking. Happiness and peace comes from giving love, care, kindness, hope, support to one another. So I think I agree with him 100%. And that's what is the talk is all about today.
Congratulations. And with that, we would like to share a quote by our special guest, Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah. Would you like to read it for us?
Yeah. If there is a will, there is a way. Don't ever give up your dreams. Education opens many doors. There is no age limit for education. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Appadu Rao.
Yep.
And so with that, Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah, Chartered Accountant, Financial Controller, MPhil, and PhD. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Viva. I think I didn't realize the time has come to 1:30 a.m. I'm still awake. Can we have another presentation now?
Thank you so much. Yes, it's a new day there in Australia already. It's 1 a.m. So we hope you enjoyed today's discussion with Dr. Appadu Rao Santhariah, that it motivated you to live free, stay focused on your goals, avoid distractions, give back to the community, and keep on learning no matter your age.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way it should be. No? And thank you, Viva, and thank you for Professor Doraisamy to give this talk. And your team is doing a great job, WHD, and we continue doing more. And I'm quite sure it will benefit a lot of people. And this currently we need these sort of things because a lot of negative things around happening. So we need the light. You have to light the candles of people.
Thank you so much, Dr. Appadu Rao. Yep. We are living in dark times. We have to be the light. Let's channel the admirable traits we see from others and apply them to ourselves. Let us find the best within ourselves and share it with the world. The world needs us to awaken to our greatness, to not cower in challenges, but to courageously face them and persevere in living our best lives. You have the right to live life the way you choose. It is your right to say no, to refuse to be an experiment. So think for yourself and use your senses, and let us be courageous in speaking our truth, because remember that fear divides, love unites us all. So here on Inspiring Millions Show, we present you with brilliant people from around the world. So feel free to connect with them on social media. And together, let's make a difference in the world. We definitely all need inspiration, especially in these times. Listening to people's stories enrich our lives. So if today's discussion inspired you, please like it, share it, send us a comment. Do share with us your takeaways from today. Follow us on our social media accounts. Subscribe on our YouTube channel, WHD Media. Visit our WHD website, whd.org.uk, for more inspiring events. WHD is deeply saddened to announce this tragic news of our WHD USA Chapter Secretary General Dr. Anandi Narasimhan's husband, David B. Cantor's passing. David has been a great friend and supporter of WHD, so we share the family's loss and the grieving. We would sincerely appreciate for all of you to remember David in your thoughts and prayers. With all that is going on in the world right now, let us also please pray for world peace. And let's all pray for all those in need of our prayers. So everyone, let's get active and healthy. These are times we should strengthen our bodies, minds, emotions, and our faith. Please remember to have compassion, be kind to yourself, others, and our planet. To our frontliners, we salute you. We thank you for your hard work, sacrifices, and dedication to humanity. Love and virtual hug to you all. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank World Humanitarian Drive for this recognition. It's a certificate of excellence, so I am immensely touched. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, Ms. Sarah Wilson, Director of Global Operations, and Mr. Eugene Ankuma. He's the Secretary General of WHD UK. So WHD would like to greet all those celebrating their birthdays and special milestones this week. Happy celebrations. Have a wonderful weekend. On behalf of WHD team, especially those working behind the scenes, WHD Chairman Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, WHD Director of Global Operations, Ms. Sarah Wilson, WHD's 12 Honorable Secretary Generals. We thank you, our virtual audience from around the world, for joining us and supporting our show. This has been World Humanitarian Drive's Inspiring Million Show. I'm Vivandrada O'Flynn. Please join us again next week. We will have an interesting discussion with Dr. Logiswari Nalathambi, founder and CEO of OurLocalOnline.com, as we inspire the world here on Inspiring Millions Show.